Hi, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Hey, what's Emma? What's Craig at right now?
Craig is at the silver hour. That's funny.
Okay, that
What are
was
you doing?
horrible. Oh God, I didn't know the Twilight Zone title music sequence had a little like drum beat at
Yeah,
the end of it.
it's snazzy.
That's fun.
I love
Anyways, welcome back. If you listened to the first episode, um, we came up with a name, the Silver Hour.
it.
But
Ooh,
what if we don't go with this? And it'll be really awkward if it's like a different name.
that's
okay.
true. We
That'll
just
be
won't talk about it. We'll just ignore it and move
yeah.
on.
Just ignore this part, anyways. I'm JJ. Find me on Letterboxd at JO7June. Yeah.
No. Oh no, what's my
Emma, go.
letterbox?
You can just say
Uh,
Emma and then sort through all of
Hi,
them.
I'm Emma. Find me on Letterbox at Emma Walker 57.
Hi, I'm Parvati. I'm not super active on Letterboxd, but if you do want to find me, I am Parvati Devi 20.
Cool.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
Got that
clown you guys for
down.
having numbers in your name, but I have a number in my name.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it's not like a number at the end. It's a middle number. It's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
name.
It's a pun too, so whatever.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
know
pun.
what? Whatever you, it's fine.
You know, like your 57 thing. Like I
Yeah.
was watching a clip from Inglorious Bastards. You know the part when
Yes,
she's like
yes, I
telling.
know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about. I
she's
remember the 57. I literally,
yeah.
it's in everywhere. 57. That number shows up everywhere, and that is why it's my lucky number.
It's
Everyone,
insane.
like, it shows up in everything. Not even just like movies. It shows up in real life all the time. Oh my god.
That's kind of crazy. That's some like hidden message type of stuff.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
wonder
But
why that's the number, but it just sounds like a good number in my opinion.
I
You know,
feel like
it
it's
sounds
because
like
people think that's like a random number, so when they need a random number, they go with 57.
yeah, yeah, I could see that. It does sound very random. Whenever I tell people that that's my lucky number, they're always like, "That's so weird."
Yeah,
So, I
it's
guess
awfully high for a lucky number. That's why.
it is. I know. That's. I feel that.
Most people choose like 11 or something.
Mhm.
I would say like a single digit number, like
Oh.
3, or
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe what day their birthday is at. You know?
Oh, that works.
Yeah.
That
But
would still.
anyways, the Inglorious Bastards moment is when she's like telling the guy to leave while she's
Mhm.
projecting the movie, and then she's like, lock the door, and he's like, what, what? And she's like, for the 57th time, please.
Exactly.
And it's so
I
like,
know.
what?
I know. 57. It shows up everywhere. Ah,
And
I
she
love it.
Okay,
knows.
every time you see it in a movie and they do like a 57 type of thing, please like
Bring it
write it
up.
down. Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah,
write
I
it
No,
will.
down, and
make a
then we'll have like a
letterbox
whole thing.
list.
I will. That's so smart. I'm gonna make a list of all movies that reference the number 57.
57. People are
Because
like, what does
it's
that even
my
mean?
number, okay? It
And
also
make it
could be
public.
the fact that we're just more hyper aware of the number now that you guys know it's my lucky number. But
Probably.
Yeah, I will like if I see it in a movie, I will like point it out.
exactly. I don't know. But also, I just like to think that it is one of those numbers that is just randomly used so much.
Yeah, people need to come up with better numbers.
No, I love 57. Get out of here. That's my lucky
Okay,
number
fine.
you're
It will be
attacking.
RA113. If you guys know what that is. Okay, you don't. It's
Um,
like it's a number that shows up in like a bunch of Pixar movies. And
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking
whoa.
about.
Yeah, I also know what you're talking
Okay, that
it's
can be
yeah,
ours. I'm down.
it's because it was like their classroom in college. Like
Mhm.
about. Oh,
I
that's
remember
awesome.
learning about that.
yeah. It could also
Interesting.
be R28. And you guys don't get that reference because
Nope.
wow. If you had Hulu, maybe you could watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire. That'd be
Okay.
awesome.
Is it on?
Whatever.
It's on Hulu, yeah. Crazy.
Oh.
Oh,
I
okay,
thought
I'm
it was just like
sorry.
Hulu like international, like how Netflix has like Netflix UK and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Oh,
it is
that's really cool. I didn't know that
yeah,
about
it's
Hulu.
on Hulu, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Check it
Good
out.
for you.
Trevor in our little group chat here says he liked it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. He
yeah.
did say that.
Yeah. Maybe we can invite him on if we ever talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but this week we're talking about not 1957. That'd be crazy, but
Oh, that would be
1941.
so
I think that's when the movie played. No, 1940.
1940.
1940s Dunkirk.
1940s Dunkirk.
I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if Christopher Nolan took a time machine in 1940 to film everything.
You're right.
Yes. I like how they just let him film actually on Dunkirk too. That's just like the funniest thing to me. Like he's actually filming on sand where people literally blew up and died.
yeah, that's a
Crazy.
little
A
good
little
times,
problematic.
guys. Oh
But yeah,
man.
so me and Emma have seen the movie already.
I saw it last night, so I am still a bit fresh. So I'm here to provide a beginner's look into this movie.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yes.
yeah, no, that's why I was gonna go to you first and what you thought.
Because I was figuring I'll ask questions about things that I don't really know that much about because you guys have seen it for a while now, I think, right?
Well, my rewatch. That was only my second time rewatching.
Yeah, it was only my
Okay,
second
okay.
time too. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I guess
yeah.
should I give more of an introduction because I was looking up videos about it and stuff.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Tarantino called this his second favorite movie of the 2010s.
Wow.
Seriously?
Of the decade, yeah. Well, I don't know for sure what
Wow.
his final list was, but he was on his podcast talking about it. And he
Oh,
was like, during his rewatch, it jumped from like his 7th favorite movie of the decade to his 2nd.
I
And I
don't
was like,
know if I agree with that, but okay. We'll
I
talk about that later.
but I will. Well, I would like to get in how much I liked it more on a rewatch
Mm.
than compared to my first time. But like going back the first time, Parvati.
My experience. Yeah.
Your first,
Usually for me, like to really understand like everything about a film, I need to watch it a second time around. But there was just so much that I caught onto the first time around that I just like absolutely loved, and the whole experience of it. I love that it. A lot of times when I go into like watching a movie too, I see that it's like more than 2 hours long, and I'm like, oh god, I have to spend 2 hours on this. But
is it 2 hours long?
No,
it's
it's
less than
only
2
like
hours.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
it's
hour
like an
and
hour
like
and
45 minutes.
It packs
Yeah,
a
that's
lot.
perfect.
It is
That's
Yeah.
all in. There's no filler in this movie. It's literally just Nolan's like his third acts for all his movies as one movie.
Yeah, they just.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself at the beginning of when I was rewatching, and I was like, man, I remember this movie going by so slow. And then I was like, yeah, it feels like it's going by so slow. And then I looked at how much time I had left, and it was only 30 minutes left. And then I was like, oh, ooh, I take it back. It's not going by slow. It went by so fast. Oh my god.
I think that's one of the biggest things I admire about this, though, is that like you feel like you've gotten so much out of such little amount of time like spent. It's so like tight, and you feel everything, and it's awesome.
Mm.
Did you know about the different timelines going into the movie?
No, I did
Yes.
not.
So yeah, what were your thoughts on that? Like, and like, when did you realize it was like, wait a minute, time is being messed around here?
So when I was looking at it, obviously I assumed all of it was happening like parallel to each other, but when I was looking, like I saw they have titling and it's like 1 week and like 1 day or like 1 hour and things.
Yes.
And I think I still don't quite understand that, but at the point that I understood that they were at completely different timelines was when what is it, like Harry Styles and the main character are trying to go towards the boat with that guy that crashes his plane.
Yes.
Who is
the scare.
at the time on the other boat that's going towards Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's when I realized.
That's also like when I realized it when I first saw it. But I think it was like a little bit earlier because like it was like night and it was like day in the other one, and I'm like, your lighting continuity, Chris, is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I guess I'll explain the title thing too because I didn't really understand what it meant because I didn't know what a mole was when it said.
Oh,
the
you didn't know what a mole was?
I understood that. I was reading about that actually. A lot of people thought the mole was like a different spy or something because that's what the name was for like spies at the time. But the mole was just.
I mean, moles can be a spy anytime.
There's so many terms for moles in the war is something I found out a while ago when I was, because I love history a lot. It's like one of my favorite things. And so, I mean, that didn't really struck anything. But I know there's like 5 different terms.
No, go ahead.
What? Oh no.
JJ?
What? What's up?
What did you say?
I said, oh, was I like all robotic-y when like I told you guys to speak?
Oh, we didn't hear what you said, and then you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, go ahead, and Emma was already talking.
Yeah, I know, and I was like, okay.
Well, did you go ahead?
I did, kind of. No, I didn't.
Okay, just start over what you were saying, Emma.
Yeah, it's not really that important. I was just saying that I think there's a lot of meanings for the word mole, especially during that time. So I can understand
That's what we were
this.
talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
No, okay, but, like, I thought it was some, like, British slang term for something. And I knew how close Dunkirk was to England, so I thought that was,
Yeah.
like, another way they could get back home.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh.
and when it said, like, the different times, I thought it was, like, it will take you a week to get back home if you take the mole. And I'm like, "Oh, that's a risky option." And then it said the sea 1 day, and I'm like, "Okay, so it'll take you a day to get there by the sea," and then the hour is like, "Oh, it'll take you an hour." Right? So that's what I thought it was. No,
Oh,
that's what I
that's so
thought. That's
confusing.
not correct. That's not obviously,
I
that's not
know. That would be so confusing if you were going into it thinking that.
No, but that's because that's just at the beginning when they show us the title
Yeah.
sequences. But then when I realized it was different timeline, I
Mhm.
understood the time, like,
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
that meant, yeah.
Mhm.
So
I
it
feel you.
basically means, like, that storyline in The Mole takes place over a week, the
Mhm.
sea takes place over a day, and the air takes place over an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
so it was like when I realized that in theaters, I'm like, "Damn it, Chris! Like you didn't have to do this." But of course, yeah, because I brought like my grandmother to see this movie, and I'm like, "Dang it, he made it a puzzle box like he usually does." But I
Yeah.
appreciate that in the long term because I think that part of it really helps on a rewatch to notice.
Yeah, I could feel that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Um,
I had no idea. I thought it was like 1 hour in, 1 week in.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't
yeah,
make sense to what
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it works though. No, I feel like and I knew before watching it that it was messing around with time, so I figured out really soon. I feel like in the first few minutes, I was like, "Oh, okay, I get what they were saying," because I think someone had told me what the whole thing was with, like, the time, so that kinda ruined that for me, but, it's all good. I still think it's cool.
yeah. I think it makes the movie so much better, especially
I
like
agree.
during this rewatch. Yeah, to see when like they cross over,
Mhm.
it's so cool. It's so amazing
Yeah.
because you'll be at the plane sequence, and then you'll
Mhm.
see them pass over a boat, and you're like, oh,
Yes,
they're
I
passing
love
over a
that
boat,
part.
right? And then like 20 minutes later, you'll see them on the boat, and then you'll see 3 planes fly over them, and you're like, oh, look at
Yeah.
those planes, and I'm like, we
Yes.
know the people on the planes.
No, and it adds so much like, it literally is, like, the different layers of the film. It adds way more to it than just being, like, a basic story with just, like, one character or I don't know. It adds more.
Mhm. I
I love
think
that
no,
because you can root for every single like aspect of whatever is happening in the actual film too. Because you
Mhm.
know everybody in the whole narrative too. They're just not just
yeah.
random people.
What do you guys think if like it was cut like Buster Scruggs or something where it would tell them like separately and then
Ooh.
instead of like cut together? What do you think of that?
I feel like that would either be really great for future watches, not like the first watch. I think it would kind of ruin the excitement of the first time you watch it and realizing, "Oh, wait, whoa, it's all of them are different timelines." But I think that excitement and would be taken away if it was like that. But also, I feel like on future watches, it might be fun. I don't know. It's interesting. I like the way that it's cut.
Oh yeah, I kind of agree because I think the way that it's cut too, it forces you to kind of see how other people are seeing everything happening too. And
Mhm.
it's not just like, oh, this happened, and so you need to look for this to happen in another thing. It mostly feels like if you do see this overlap, then good for you the first time. But like the second time around, if you see it overlap, you're like, yes, this is how it goes. It's like
Mhm.
awesome. And I like that better, I think,
Yeah.
too.
I also think time is just such a good, like, block in your film, like, to mess around with time, kind of. It's
For
just
sure.
more interesting than just having, like, just a straight, like, parallel linear plot, because it's
Yeah.
way more allows the audience to interact with the story more, in my opinion. And you can really like afterwards it's easier to talk about and to so you have like things to mention. You're like, whoa, did you like that was that whoa.
Yeah. I think
But
one thing that I like too with the way that it was edited is like how they create so many parallels with like different situations too. Like I think when one of the pilots was he couldn't get his what is it, like the window
Yeah, his
open
like
in his
hangar door open or whatever on the
yeah, and he
plane.
was
Yeah.
like slowly drowning while the soldiers were slowly drowning in the other vessel, I think.
yeah.
I don't know
Yes.
at which point, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt like they made a lot of like cool parallels like that too. So you could feel like struggle parallel on each side, and it didn't feel too repetitive either.
Exactly. Yeah, and it allows him to like stack moments. I found that like I guess we should have gave a spoiler warning, but we're talking about spoilers this whole time.
Oh god, yeah. Oops. I'm
But
so sorry.
at the end of the movie when there's like the boat has like everyone on it and they're like sailing away and then there's a plane coming to like shoot them and they have to do that maneuver. He cuts that with the guys at the pier almost getting attacked by the plane. And like during the rewatch, like I realized it's the same plane.
Yeah.
That's just like afterwards. Instead of like playing this moment and that, he plays them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Make it seem like everyone's in danger all at once. And
Mhm.
I really liked it. I think it would have
Yeah.
works good.
Yeah.
I
But
think
yeah,
are you talking about the part where like Kenneth Branagh, is that how you say it?
yes, Kenneth Branagh.
Okay, are you talking about that part
general.
where like his face, like he's so excited to see all of the like the smaller ships, but then he looks up and he sees it, and then his face just like completely changes? Are you talking about that part?
Yeah, because like you start to hear a plane come in, and you
Okay,
know
okay.
it's not Tom Hardy's plane because they saw his without like any fuel in it, and it wasn't making any noise. So when you hear another plane with like noise, it's like, oh, that's a German plane, and everyone's like bracing, everyone's
Right.
like ducking, like yeah.
Yes.
And then they
I
cut
just thought
that
it
with.
was.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, sorry. Say what you finish. What you're saying.
Oh yeah, they cut that with the other moment with the guys on the boat and the plane comes in. And, yeah.
Gotcha.
No, yeah, I bring up.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Oh no.
No, I'm
No,
bringing
because
up
you
a
guys are
different
also kind
topic.
of cutting off for me, so it's like I
Oh
don't know.
yeah. I kind of hear a weird crackling sound in the background.
Oh really?
Yeah. It sounds like someone's brushing against their microphone.
Me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear that.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
Oh no, you're all good. Because I was just wondering if anyone else heard that, but it
It's
was
like
really
when someone
loud.
crumples up a piece of paper to pretend.
Exactly. It sounded
Oh,
it
shoot.
was funny
Sorry.
though.
Wait, why didn't you tell me before?
Oh, I thought it was my computer for a while, and then I was like, "Oh wait, never mind."
Okay.
You're good. It's not that loud though, but it was kind of
You're
like
chilling.
there.
I didn't notice it.
Oh.
Okay. Cool.
Anyways, continue. What were you
Okay.
gonna say, Parvati?
I brought him up because I just realized I could watch like so much of the movie just in his like how he changes his face at so many of the
Kenneth
parts.
Branagh.
Yeah, I felt like I could just like tell exactly what was going to happen just from watching his face. I thought it was really cool.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, Nolan included him, the Kenneth Branagh character, and the other officer, and he said their roles were kind of like narrators. So like the audience has context about the events that's going on because they're the ones who actually know about like the different kinds of plans and stuff. And they're not technically part of the mole storyline because that's on the main guy and Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know Harry Styles was in this? Or were
Yeah,
you?
no, I knew when the movie came out that he was in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
It was also people were talking about how Harry Styles is in it, and also people were talking about, and it was my favorite thing when people kept mentioning how they were like, "I'm so disappointed. I thought I would see Tom Hardy's face the whole time, but I only got to see him for like a second at the end." And I was like,
I mean, I saw his face the whole time.
but no, but like he's
Tom
covered by
Hardy
a
loves
mask.
wearing masks.
There was so many people that were like, "I just wanted to see how hot Tom Hardy was."
Really?
Yeah, it was really funny though. I think it's hilarious.
Everyone around me when it came out was like so excited to see Harry Styles, and they actually went to theaters to see it just for him. And then they came out being like, "Oh, he was only in it for like 5 minutes, but he's in it
No,
for
he
long."
wasn't.
He's in it
He
for a
was for the whole
lot.
movie.
I know.
I would argue he's like one of the best actors in that. Like he gives one of the best performances in that
No,
movie.
I agree.
Because his character is given more material than others.
That's true.
That's true.
when he's being racist against the French guy.
Yeah, wow.
No, but that's a
Shame
great
on him.
moment, I think, in the boat.
Yeah, I like that moment.
Too.
There's a lot that I don't like about Dunkirk, but
Yeah, go ahead.
there's a
You
lot
can
that
get
I do like. I don't know. I just feel like it's such a I've seen so many war films in my life, and I have, like, a handful that I'm like, These are good. These are the ones that are the best in my opinion." And I just feel like Dunkirk doesn't fit in that handful of movies. It
I
just
would I
doesn't
would argue that maybe because Dunkirk isn't a war film in, like, the way it's presented and the way it presents itself.
I would disagree with that because I would
Just
say
I think it uses war as, like, a setting for different genres, most notably, like, a survival horror type of thing.
Yeah, but I would say other war films in my bunch do the same thing, but they
Okay.
do it better in
We'll
my
we'll we'll talk about other war films after.
Okay, because I just
Yes.
wanna cause and I hate that I, like, kinda went into my rewatch comparing it to other films, and I tried to stop doing that, but I then realized that when I first watched it, my mind was, like, thinking of a bunch of other films, and I was like, "Oh, I like this one more."
Oh, I see. Like, a part would, like, remind you of, like, a different.
Yeah, and it would remind me of something I liked either more but also there's parts that I like about Dunkirk that other films don't do as much. I just felt that Dunkirk didn't wow me in any way. I was kind of the only thing that shocked me and surprised me was the time thing for a
Yes.
certain amount of time, but at the same time, there was nothing really there that I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, I definitely had this experience of, like, that wasn't all too amazing when I first watched the movie.
Mhm.
Cause like, and that's why it took me a while to rewatch it. Cause normally, like, if it's a Nolan movie, I'm gonna rewatch it a bunch of times.
Very true.
The
They're
first time
very
I watched
rewatchable.
it, I was kind of like, I wasn't gonna say underwhelmed, but it's just that there was nothing, like, rushing me back. There was no, like, set piece that I really enjoyed.
Mm, mhm.
But this rewatch, like, it totally, like, jumped my, like, personal view of the movie up so much. Just to
Wow,
see.
dang.
No, like, cause the playing with time thing, it's
Mhm.
way more genius than I thought it was the first
I
time I
agree
watched
with
it.
that. I agree.
Together, and he plants seeds for future moments in other storylines, and that really impressed me a lot.
That's true.
Like a robot right now.
You kind of cut out a little
You
bit.
cut out for a bit, so we were
Yeah.
both just like in silence for a
Yeah,
bit.
we were,
I
we
was like,
thought you
"Are
were
you
talking
guys? Do you guys want me to say something?"
Yeah, no.
Okay, so I cut off. It's fine.
No,
What
no,
was the
you're
last?
talking
No, now
about
I'm talking because I hear you guys. But when you guys
Yeah.
stop talking, I always have this innate sense of fear that I cut off from you guys.
Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, yes.
I guess I'll just say this: this like Dunkirk is kind of like a disaster movie because it's not like a movie where they're trying to win a battle, rather just like run away from something.
Mm.
But the way they put these stories together makes it very tense filled in a way.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
My biggest problem with Dunkirk honestly is just it's like PG-13 rating and it's
Yeah,
like
I hate that. I wish it was so much more it just kind of, in a way, makes it feel just not like a war film at all, which not in the sense of, like, what you were saying where, "Oh, it doesn't need to because it's like a disaster movie," which I agree with that, but it just doesn't seem right, and, the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm just I don't know, I feel like there should be more gore or something or anything. I don't know, like, there needs to be something more, like, brutal about it. I just
Mm.
Yeah, especially when bombs are being dropped on crowds
Yeah,
of.
Yeah. No, yeah,
I know,
especially
all you
there's
see
a lot of times when like a boat would be bombed or something like that. And I expected there to be like floating body parts or something at least. And not to say that like it's completely essential, but it does feel like it's not that fatal when you actually watch it too. It
Yes,
doesn't feel as serious as the stakes are set for it to be.
I know.
And like
I
I could
just
argue that might be like an argument of like taste or something, but at the same time it feels like it's something that needs to be there to actually feel how serious it all
Yeah,
is.
considering
Yeah,
how much the rest of the movie feels so authentic to me.
Yeah.
Like literally those plane sequences are literally my favorite part because of how amazing they
same, I love the plane
Mhm.
sequences. Oh
Me
my
too.
god.
and I believe they're all like that's all real. Like I believe, right? It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
It's
so.
amazing. It's so good. Those plane
Beautiful.
So
sequences.
good. So
Me and my
Yes,
good.
sister
oh, go ahead.
sorry. Me and my sister were just talking about like how difficult it must be to fly like that too, because just from watching it, we felt so like oh, this is such a difficult thing to do. How are they like doing it with such skill? And he showed that through like the way he filmed it, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't notice how beautiful some of the shots were when I watched it for the first time.
Yeah, I feel that too.
But
I
the second
also
time, some of these shots were just amazing. They were
Yeah, I can agree
incredible.
with that.
When
Uh,
like there's like this one shot that I really liked. It was like the two planes in the air and all you see is like the open ocean and then like two smoke pillars from Dunkirk and they're just flying towards it. And they
mhm.
held on that shot for a while and I just like, wow, this is amazing. It's amazing.
I agree, that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
yeah, those my only problem with it is like its lack of gore. And sometimes Nolan does struggle with some violence in his movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
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 But this one, like some of the sequences felt like in a dream. And like, in some dreams, like you can't like move very well. Like you're trying to walk upstairs in a
Yeah.
dream and you're just like, I can't do it. That's
Yeah.
what that's what it feels like when some of these sequences, like when guys are drowning, it just feels like their mobility is so locked in. And I guess
Yeah.
that's part of the experience, but at the same time, it just feels weird to me.
Yeah, I know, there's just some scenes where it just felt off, and it just didn't feel right, and I think that's a lot of the reason why I didn't like it that much, and also the fact like, whenever I, like, finished it, both times that I've watched it, it never, like, left me with a lot to think about, which is sometimes a good thing with films, but I kinda wanted to just I don't know.
I
Ugh.
think I agree with that because for me the ending was a little too like overly
Oh, I hate the ending.
expository.
I
I
hate the
don't.
ending of
Oh,
the
I
I
think
movie.
love the ending. Oh
I
the part
no,
hate
that I
it.
hate the
the
most though
ending's
is
so
when
good.
I
no,
hate
I
it.
think the part that I hate the most is when Kenneth Branagh is like, oh, he was like, oh, I guess Churchill got his 30,000. He's like, and some 300,000 more, and I'm like, stop. That's so. Don't tell me this. Like, I don't. I feel like this is a thing
Well, I
that.
mean, it's a real event, so they kind of
No, I
use
Yeah.
these
understand that. I
facts.
understand that,
I
but
know, but
also,
it kind of felt like a history, like, teacher just
yeah.
talking to the audience directly.
Exactly. Like maybe it's the way he said it or something, but it sounded so like this is a finality, this is like a thing, like this is a fact that everyone is gonna know now. Like I just feel so like it felt kind of
I mean,
cheap in
that's
the
kind
end
of the
a little
point of the
bit.
movie to let you know that.
I know that, but I don't know. I
Well,
feel like
yeah,
they
but I
presented
think
a
you
different
could have
way.
assumed that as an audience.
Yeah.
I think the ending is great because it
I
really
don't
punches
like it
home
at
that
all.
because the final theme of the movie is like there's victory and survival.
Well,
And
yeah, but I
the
think
soldiers are so beaten down and they're like we failed and it's just like an aura of sadness, especially like as they board the train and like it's like not doesn't seem like a victory at all until like the final moments where it's like the sacrifice from Tom Hardy was worth it and the people cheering and handing out beer through like the train window. I just love that moment so much and it's
yeah,
just like
but I
they won even though they lost, and that's like the message the movie was trying to portray, and I think they did a good job.
I
I
don't
like that
know.
too,
I
but I just
think
felt like they kind of like punched it to you at the very
yeah,
end.
I
Like this is
hated
what like
the
that's
They said, "Hold on, it's not like a
Jesus.
Return of the King like hour epilogue. It's like 5 minutes, and then the movie's over."
I know, but I hate him reading from the paper. I literally when
yeah.
I watched it the first time, I literally rolled my eyes because I hated it so much. And even now I was watching it and I was like, I wish it ended differently. I hate how direct it is
I
and
think
how
those
it's like
two
it
yeah.
just feels like the whole movie you could assume what the meaning is and then they just kind of force it down your throat in the last 5 minutes.
I
And I
don't
don't
think
like
the
that.
movie is. There's no like real theme coming from the movie. The first like hour and a half of it.
Well, I know,
It's
but
the
you
last
I
can
would
10 minutes
assume
when
argue
it
what the
tells you the
theme is.
importance of like Dunkirk.
I think I
I
would
think you
argue
can
that like you could have I think they could have intertwined it I think with like previous moments too. And also just
yeah.
in the end something as simple as like giving him less things to read on the newspaper I think or even just like I don't
I
know
feel like
cuz
that's
those
a
two
real like
parts of
newspaper like article though that he's reading.
I think
I
so
feel like
too, but I feel like there's a lot of parts that he could have just like cut down on at least because it really
Yeah.
like I agree with Emma it feels like like that part, and then the like literally saying 300,000 people were saved. This felt so like this is exactly what happened in what you just watched for the last hour and a half. You know, that's how it feels like to me. Whereas I feel like I could have
I
figured
thought
that
the
out.
line was fine. That line is like fine. No, because it's like they're trying to slam the door in your face to tell you like this is how many people they saved compared to like how much they thought would be saved.
But, like, JJ, I've read that sentence in a history textbook. Like, I literally read that word for word in a history textbook. I can remember reading
No,
it.
they would give you a more specific estimate than be sure.
I know,
But
yeah,
like,
that's true. But it just felt so ugh.
No, because it's better than the movie. Like, I really hope the movie wouldn't give us like a stupid like 300,000 people survived the Battle of Dunkirk and then England went on to win the war. Like, there's no title screen like that, and I really appreciate that the movie just ends like.
What do you have against title sequence? No, I'm just kidding. I don't really yeah.
Like that's why Nolan like he put the title at the beginning of the movie rather than at the end like he does for like Inception or something, because it'd be
Yeah.
really weird for it to cut off and then say Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that would be really weird.
That would be weird. I don't like that.
I don't know. I just had a lot of issues with the ending, and I think that's really why I don't like it that much. I like the movie. It just doesn't stand out, in my opinion, to me.
Oh, it still stands out to me. I just think that those two parts in specific like are things that I just don't like, but that's okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we could start talking about this movie in comparisons with 1917, which
Ooh, I'm
once
ready.
again, but I feel like I'm gonna be in the minority again here.
I know.
No, but I will say, I guess I'll just start then. I
Okay,
did
go
like 1917 more on a first watch than Dunkirk. When I finished 1917, I'm like, I was thinking about these two movies, and I would give the edge to 1917.
Mm.
But this rewatch put Dunkirk back over the top, which is why I want to watch 1917 again.
Mhm.
But like I find them very similar, of course, and it's like in a way they're both really simple stories, but they find really complex ways to tell them. With
Yeah.
1917 in its like visual style, and in Dunkirk with its like broken up timeline.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's a really unique thing that both movies did to find unique ways to tell simple stories.
Yeah. I would also say something that I will say that Dunkirk does better is I think Dunkirk is way more rewatchable than 1917. And that's,
Oh,
like, saying a lot because I really like 1917, but
how many times have you seen 1917?
I've seen it 4 times now.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I know. Well, but it's 'cause I've watched it with people, like, multiple people, showing them it because I like to. I love feeding off of other people's
Oh
excitement for
yeah, for
things.
sure.
It's the
Aw.
way you can relive the anticipation.
Exactly. That's why I love
I
watching
know.
Parasite with other people.
Exactly, yes! I know, but I will say that a little bit of the nervousness that you got, like, the first time watching 1917 and the tense that you felt, it is a little bit lost, and that made me sad, but also at the same time, it isn't completely lost, and I found my love for it in not only those moments, but also for the simple, like, small moments in the film, and I just think that Dunkirk is definitely not as good the first watch, but it is better the second time you watch it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I haven't seen 1917 again, but just
Yeah.
like I would assume it's not as effective the second time, simply
It's
because
not.
I don't
Good.
see like how I could like rewatch it and be like, "Oh, it's cool how they did that again."
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Actually, I think I would, but I would argue in terms of like visually, like how beautiful it is, because that's what the
Yeah.
main cause of like awe was for me, at least in
I
this.
know. Oh my
Was
god,
just like
that's
watching it and just it was just so beautiful. Like you were saying, like the small moments, like him just like floating amongst like the flowers in the water and things.
Oh,
Oh
I cried
god.
so much. Okay, when I rewatched 1917 recently, and I do this often where where a movie kinda like when we watch La La Land, I
Mhm.
cry the whole time, and that happened with my rewatch on 1917, and I was
Really?
just sobbing. I was like, "Why am I crying? Oh my god, it's the cherry blossom leaves in the water because his partner did make it all the way. He was there the whole time in spirit. Oh my god!" And I'm just like sobbing on my floor.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
and I don't know, there's just so much more that wows me about 1917, and I think the story it gives across the meaning a little bit more effectively, in my opinion, than Dunkirk.
I agree.
What's your interpretation of 1917's like
I
message?
think it's a very similar meaning actually to Dunkirk, like the idea that, well, okay, I will say in a lot of interviews with Sam Mendes, he was saying that his movie wasn't a movie about like a war hero, it was a movie about survival. And I think a lot of people, when they saw it, went into it thinking that it was going to be about a war hero, when in all honesty, it's literally just about the story of some people getting lucky and some people not getting lucky. Because that's what happens during war. It's not really based off of skill. Like, if his partner, obviously, well, we talked about spoilers, so.
His partner dies because he's
Yeah, his partner's dead.
no, that's not all luck related. His partner was an idiot. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta
No,
say,
no,
he
I
was
wouldn't say
dumb.
that. I would say but also I would say that Schofield was, like, pretty similar, you know? I would say they were on the same level of expertise, and it's just so happened one of them got lucky and the other one didn't,
No,
and that's another thing that Sam Mendes
Still knew to
mentioned.
kill the guy.
What?
In the
Yeah, I think he had a different like insight into what was actually happening versus the other guy just had more empathy for the guy that
Oh,
eventually
okay,
kills
yeah,
him.
no, I understand that. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. I like the idea that because Sam Mendes specifically said in interviews that his grandfather said some people are lucky and some people aren't, and that sentence just stuck with me, and even on rewatches, I love that because it's so true and it's so
No, you
smart.
definitely get that in moments of the movie, like especially during the big shot, the final shot at the end when people are running across the field, and
Yeah.
it's just like such a random like you don't know who's gonna fall down and who's gonna live.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I feel
And
like Dunkirk also has those moments, like the
yeah.
bomb dropping scene, where it's like you see the line of bombs, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, is he
Yeah.
gonna get hit? And he doesn't.
I
So I
know,
think
very
both
true.
movies got that
Yeah,
message.
I definitely
Exactly, and
feel
that's
that.
why I would say both movies have a pretty similar,
I
like,
see.
theme, which is cool, and I like that because it makes it more interesting to, like, talk about both of them. But I
I
just
think the
got
moment. Sorry.
No, no, you're all good, you're good.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I think that I got that more from 1917 than I did from Dunkirk, and in a way that I think was more refreshing.
I think I felt the same way about the lucky thing when I was watching Dunkirk. And do you remember the part where someone is holding on to him from the boat, and then he like goes underwater for a second? You don't know if he's gonna live or if he's just gonna like drown, but then he comes back up for air.
Mhm.
And he's completely fine. I think in
Yeah,
that moment I realized how lucky he was for everything that he basically endured. And so
Yeah.
for me, in a sense, that kind of felt more like, oh, this was entirely based off of luck versus in 1917. It feels like, yeah, he went through all this stuff, but also he was going through a lot of lands that were already abandoned and things. And like, it was not safe, but it was like I don't know, it felt less of a luck thing versus like him being able to just get past things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think also a lot of the reason why
Wait, am I cutting off? Can you guys hear me?
you are cutting me off, but that's okay.
Should I just? I'm gonna try to leave. Hold up. Give me a second.
Okay.
Well, Craig is still here. Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
You're good, you're back.
Okay, I'm good.
Craig
So
is
maybe I
still
should just
here.
leave if I'm like
Yeah, that's fair.
cutting
Yeah,
off.
you should just leave. No, that's fair.
But I feel like the protagonists in 1917, they like have to go through something, like go through as in like they have to like go into it and like
Yeah.
come out. While the characters in Dunkirk, they have like the things happen to them.
Mhm.
That's not like
Yeah.
a criticism of either movie. I just feel like that's like a difference between like the experiences. If there
Yeah,
is
I
any
agree with
difference, they
that.
both go through like war of
Mhm.
some kind. But yeah,
That's
like
fair.
the 1917 characters have to go on like a journey, which is why I love the first half of that movie so much because it feels like a
Yeah.
real journey to me. Like
Yeah.
that the opening shot in 1917 is crazy. I just love it
Yes.
so much.
Oh my god.
And you slowly like go into the trenches. It's
Mhm.
a great opening shot. I really
Love it. I love it.
And I know you said you don't like the second half, but I love the second half of the movie, so I
The
think
second half is like a video game. And I
no,
know
but
you guys don't play video games.
Oh my god.
It's like
I
Why
he
do you
gets
feel
the
like it's like
obligatory stealth mission, and then the escape, and then he jumps into the river, and
yeah,
then
but
the final climactic scene. But I love the Wayward Soldier song. Come on, that's a beautiful
oh
song.
my god, I cry every time. Don't even mention it. I like literally felt my stomach drop when you said the Wayward Soldier
Aw.
scene. I oh that scene in particular really messes me up, man. I'm not gonna lie. I like oh I watched it with my family, and because my mom hadn't seen it, and my stepdad was like, "Oh, you gotta watch this." So we watched it together, and I was just sitting on the corner of the couch, just sobbing, and they were like, are you good?" And I was like, "No, but we can move on." It's just so good. It's so good. Oh my god, because it's ah. I think the acting is also I like the main character in 1917 so much more because
Oh
I
I
wait,
feel
agree.
like
who
you
would you
can
say the
really
main character is
in 1917 or in Dunkirk.
in 1917?
I would say the main character is Schofield.
But wait, Schofield is the guy who lives at the who makes it to the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the main character.
Okay. No, no. Well, I feel like the movie presents Blake as the main character.
Yeah, that's also what my parents were talking about because they were the last people I rewatched it with, and they
Mhm.
were saying that a lot of the shock when you see that he's dead is from that, obviously. And
Yeah,
I think
I see that.
I don't know, I think on the rewatch it's more obvious that
I
Schofield is
see.
kind of the main character because from the beginning it starts with him. It
Yeah.
starts on him, so it kind of, presents itself as being like,
I think
"This is."
for
Because
me,
Blake has. Oh, go ahead.
I think for me, Blake seemed like the main character just because his like that actor was more familiar to me, and that's why I felt that
Oh,
he had
Tommen.
to be. Yeah, because I know him as Tommen, and also he was in The King or something in a different movie.
Oh wow.
But like yeah, but he just felt more familiar to me, which is why I felt like he might have been the main character. But afterwards, after a while, it became more obvious that Schofield was.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, it becomes pretty obvious when the other one
When
fucking
when
dies.
when the other one dies. Ouch.
No,
That's
but it's because Blake has the emotional connection to the journey.
yeah, you're
Mm.
right, but I love that he dies, which also that sentence just sounds so bad, oh my god. But I
I
think
love that he dies.
I just love that he dies. I just he deserved no escape. Oh my god, that's so
I know. I'm
yeah.
totally cool with them killing him off. I just wish
Yeah,
they
'cause it
found a
adds a
better way
lot.
to do it than him being an idiot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
doing it
The
on
thing
screen
is,
maybe too, rather than like off screen.
What?
They kill him off screen.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh,
The
you're
moment he
right.
gets stabbed is off screen, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. Like he like
Thing
calls
is,
Yeah,
for
well,
though,
help
no,
and
you
then he
can
like turns
see him
around and he's
pull
like,
out the knife.
yeah, but the thing is, you know how you said that he has more of an emotional. Oh no, can you
Yeah,
hear
he
us?
has more of an emotional.
I'm sorry,
Jay?
Beck. I sneezed. Hello.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, I was just saying, like, you know how you said, like, he seems like the protagonist just because he has more of an emotional attachment to the actual journey, but that makes sense in his character alignment to die because of that, too, because he was already distracted by the fact that he has an emotional attachment, so because of that, he is more emotional towards the guy that ends up
Yeah.
killing him, too. That's why I just think it makes sense for him to die that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus,
I
like,
think that that's something that's in a lot of war films, and it's just a plot that a lot of war films do where they're like, "Oh, they sympathize with the bad person. Oh, now they're
And that's
dead."
the mistake. Yep.
But also at the same time, that happens, so I don't really see that much of a problem with it. I don't know. I think it makes sense.
I agree, and also, like,
But it's
Schofield
just
just
such a
seemed to
face
have.
pop moment to me. It's just like, come on.
But I think that it humanizes the characters in a way, because that is a human reaction to want to take care of someone, even if they're not, like
But these
a
are soldiers. Like they have to like, come on. They
I
have
I
know,
agree
but
with Emma though, because I feel like they still show them as being people though. Like you can't
yeah.
always show soldiers being like, oh, this is what the procedure is, this is what we have to do. Like Schofield was more focused on the
I'm pretty
mission
sure
as a
that's
full
not
like
the
solution
case.
to everyone on a broader image. But then like what's his name? Not Tommen.
Blake?
Yeah, Blake.
Blake.
But then Blake was only seeing it like from his kind of perspective, which is what eventually led to his downfall, I guess.
Mm,
But back to the Dunkirk comparisons, I guess.
yes.
I will say the 1917 characters are stronger, but that's
Yeah.
because that's the focus of the movie in a way. Dunkirk doesn't care
Very true.
about its characters; it cares about the moment. Does that make no? Well, that's
No, I
the
know what you mean. I know
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. When I feel like after watching Dunkirk, you don't really connect to any of the characters at all, really. But
Mhm.
that's kind of the point. I don't think you're supposed to. I think you're just supposed to see them as like just people in the war, you know?
Yeah.
yeah. But I still think there are great character moments in Dunkirk, like when
Mm.
the kid dies, and like Cillian Murphy, like he doesn't know, and then
I
when they're
don't.
all leaving, and then he sees the bag, and you're just like, oh no, now he's got to live with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
when the Mark Rylance's character. See, I don't know the names of the characters in Dunkirk too, so that's the kind of like
Yeah. When
part
I
of the
was Oh,
deep.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to talk about the moment where they like yell at the pilot, like, "Where the hell were you?" And then he's like,
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
and then he gives him like a handshake, and I just like
Mhm.
to think that they never see each other again, but that was like such a great
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
I think well, first of all, the thing that I wanted to bring up first is that scene where the kid dies, I still don't like I when I watched it, I didn't like that scene because it doesn't like it makes sense, but also I'm like, how did he just really just like fell.
Yeah.
Metal like pole there at the bottom of the boat, like the pipe.
No, I know what he hit his head on, and I know that, and I know that that can happen, but it just seems like such a pathetic way that he died, and it makes me sad
Yeah.
when I say that, and I think that has a lot to do with maybe the PG-13
No,
rating.
exactly. I was gonna say that
Yeah.
Nolan should show that, but I
I
think that
know.
it makes sense that someone could die from that. I mean, that's
Yeah, but
It
at
does
the
make
same
sense,
time,
but it
it
seems more
seems
like a
the way
real.
it's shot is not good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
really hate
agree.
that scene. It confuses me. I like afterwards, like, 'cause I like the scene at the end, like, what you were saying when he sees the stretcher with, like, the sheet over it and he realizes, "Oh my god, I
And
killed
also
Ted."
the reveal that he's dead. Like it's Harry Styles' character who's like,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
touch him, like be careful, and then
Mhm.
it's great.
Yeah, that scene's really good. I just don't like the way that
No,
he
the
died.
actual like the hit on his head
I
part.
know, it's so weird.
And also
It
there's
just
no
seems
kind of
so fast.
indication of how fatal it was too. Like you see him wrapping his head, but you don't see any blood.
Yeah, well, you see, like, his
A
hair
little
You
is
bit.
see some
matted.
blood. You see some blood
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, but
But it's not like super
yeah,
like, oh,
okay.
this is like gonna be
Okay.
his death.
Like, okay, let's talk about fatal head blows. Spoiler for
It reminds
Parasite.
me of Ender's Game. Have you
No,
guys seen?
no.
Oh yeah. I
But,
definitely know.
like,
But that death
okay,
felt more final than this one, at least, because you could see him literally hitting his head on like the edge of something, which makes sense, and you could feel the pain in that one.
Parasite? Can we talk about
I
Parasite
was
too?
gonna say that. That's what I was saying. I think that, like, if it was something more like that, I would be like, "Well,
Yeah.
of course he's dead. He got bashed in the head with a rock," even though he didn't. But like,
Oh, I
even
was
if he
talking
did that.
about the moment where she falls down the stairs. I feel like that's more of a
Oh,
symbol
that too.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
good
because
one.
she actually goes blind too, which
Mhm.
and she
Yeah,
oh, spoilers for Parasite.
I said that earlier. Yeah, I said it earlier. It's okay. But I just think that it's so odd and it happens so fast. Not in a
Well,
good way. Like
if I
it's
had to
just
like
dead.
defend that moment, it'd be like because it was like a chaotic moment is why he got killed.
Yeah,
'Cause it was
I
like
just don't like it. I'm gonna be quite
I like
honest.
the moment. I just wish it was shot better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Eh.
Also, another thing too is that like you know how while he says before he says that he's blind, the character's just talking about like how he never did anything great and he always wanted to be in the newspaper, but now he's finally
Yeah.
done something great. What did he do that was great? Like what did
Yeah,
he
I know
actually
what
Sacrificed
do?
his
I
life
said.
to help
But like he
save
didn't.
people.
But how did he help save people? Like
Wow.
what did he
I
actually
also
do on the
feel like
boat?
Yeah, I feel like that was also very on the nose at the end of the movie, where he,
Yeah.
like, goes to the newspaper, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course, whatever."
Yeah.
Like, you're calling back to the beginning. Ooh, oh my god, what a hero. I hate
Okay,
that
I
scene.
feel like 1917 has moments just like that when he just takes out
How?
thing at the end and it's his family like, "Oh, of course he's gonna, like, come back to us." It's
Well,
like
yeah.
every war movie's gonna have, like, cheesy, like, moments like that.
Well,
But
no, it wasn't I wouldn't say it's cheesy, I just felt like it was too, uh I don't know, it just felt like they set it up just for that moment, and
Yeah,
it
I
kind
felt
of
that way
made
too.
me confused. I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, what did he do?" I mean, he kind of, just went on the boat with them, and he did help, of course he helped,
no,
like,
but I
he
think it's
is.
also a message to, like, all kinds of, like, soldiers who, like, try to find meaning when they go to war, at least try to help out in any way they can. And that was, like,
Yeah.
the thing with Mark Rylance's character because he wanted to help out, that's why he wanted to take over his boat, it's because his son died in the
Mhm.
war and he wanted
Oh, I
to
see.
part as well.
I don't know, I think
Mm.
maybe if they had changed the timing of his death to be later after he actually did something, like,
Yeah, I
more
feel like he
relevant,
No,
I would
no,
feel
see, no,
better
that's
about it.
because then it's like you have to do something to be honored or awarded, but,
Oh.
like, just volunteering yourself is enough, and he literally
Yeah.
gives his life.
Yeah, I agree to that, but I the only problem I have with that scene is just I don't like how he says, "I just always wanted to be in a newspaper," and then later on at the movie, "Oh, I'm gonna put him in the newspaper." It
Well,
just
I mean,
feels so
yeah, what else are you
obvious.
gonna do? What did
It just
I feel like if they did put him in the newspaper, then you'd be like, "Why didn't they put him in the newspaper?"
No,
Uh,
not at all. I just think that that was a little weird, and I didn't like it. I didn't like his character just because I felt like it was only a way of just getting that last moment in the movie, even though I don't think that. But I just don't
I
I
guess,
don't
like, a
like
way
it.
would be better is if they didn't have him say he wanted to be in the newspaper and they put him in the newspaper.
Yes, that is so true. I
Yeah,
think I
like,
would've
if he had just said
felt
the line,
emotional.
like, I always wanted, like, my teachers to know, like, something if they had said something in that along those lines and then he had been in the
Yeah,
newspaper, maybe that would've worked better.
yeah, it was so on the nose, and I just
Yeah.
didn't like that. Ugh.
Okay,
Yeah.
but speaking of on the nose, we have to have this discussion. 1917 score versus Dunkirk score.
I like 1917 score more, it makes me
Oh
cry.
my god.
No,
Ooh,
get out of
I don't know
here!
about
Get
that.
out of
Dude,
here!
like
Okay,
Hans Zimmer in his pocket watch.
I love Hans Zimmer. I do, and,
Dunkirk, literally, like, the music is half that movie.
Yeah, I
If you
agree.
like, it's structured around the ticking
You
clock.
say that, but I watched it this time around, and I didn't even think about the music at all. Like, there
No,
was no point.
exactly, that's the point. The
No, no,
music
no.
is
No, 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 but
because
not
it
even
can
that.
feel
No,
it.
because I
You don't, like,
noticed
think about
scores.
the music, you
One at a
think
time.
about this.
I know, I paused just because I know that he was talking.
No, because like, 1917, the music by itself is good, but the way they use it in the movie is not good.
I
If I
disagree.
have to, like, be like, "Oh, wait, this music's actually pretty good," you're distracting me from the movie.
I
Like, it
disagree.
has to it has to support the moment, and that's all of Dunkirk's music. Like, Supermarine and The Oil, like, those pieces of music, you may not, like, think about it, but it's
I
there, and if it was gone, then you would feel it, but it's there, and it supports the scene so well, and it goes with the theme of the movie and how, like, the ticking clock they have to, like, overcome.
I just think that the score in Dunkirk, and I had a conversation with my friend who's a composer, so I'm pretentious. No, I was kidding.
Wow.
But she was saying, and I agree with her. She's like, that was a really bland score. The only thing that was wonderful about it was the ticking clock and the fact that, yeah,
I feel
that
like
makes sense.
your friend needs to actually listen to the tracks.
No, and I
Not
agree
in
with
the
her. I
movie,
think
but, like,
it's so.
separately.
I
Listen
think
to
that it sounds
Supermarine
like
and tell
so
me that's
many
not one
other
of the most
scores.
intense pieces of music you've ever heard. Listen to Supermarine after that.
No, I just think that it's not it didn't blow me away, and even, like, when I listened to it, because I have listened to that score, it just I mean, yeah, eh,
And
but,
it's
like,
also not, like, music to be, like, to casually, like, put on, it's to evoke a mood, and it's
no, I don't think that's true, because I know
it
that there
is,
was
it
points
invokes a mood of, like,
I
tension,
felt like it
but,
was
like
forceful sometimes, though, in Dunkirk. I also feel that sometimes it was forceful in 1917, but I think that I just like unique scores, and it just didn't really stand out to me. I think it's more personal preference and not actually, like, based on the
Oh, well,
actual
yeah. Well,
score itself.
everything's personal
I think it
preference.
might be too,
Exactly.
because for me, at least when I was listening to the score, it felt so aligned with my mood in the moment as well too. And also, you know how I was talking earlier about like parallel moments? I felt like the score was sometimes the most intense at those parallel moments too, so you literally feel like everybody is in danger again, and I think that's the main reason why I liked it too, aside from the ticking clock being like so like helping with the mood and everything too. But for me at least, it just was so aligned with how I felt in the moment, what I saw visually as well. So I think that's why I liked it more versus like 1917. It was nice and I liked it, but it didn't feel as much aligned with my emotions within the scene.
I think that the moments in the 1917 score that I liked the most were the moments where the score was more like gentle.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yeah,
like
same.
those
When,
moments,
when
and
oh,
that's
go ahead.
what blows me away. Like that's the part that made me like the score a lot more than
No, because see that the
Dunkirk.
gentle moments, it's supporting. It's a better like support for the visuals and the story, and it
Yeah.
like brings back emotions from before, like during when he's like in the river, right?
Yeah,
But like
exactly.
moments when he's
Wow.
like the guy in the tower shoots him and then suddenly music starts. It's like a video game. It's like you don't need to like shove in music like that, and it just comes out of nowhere, and it's too distracting.
I didn't
I,
even notice it, I'm not gonna lie. I noticed it in Dunkirk the first time I watched it, so maybe it is just, like, personal. Because when I
I
was watching
remember.
Dunkirk the first time, I do remember me and my family, we were watching it together, and we were like, oh my god, turn it down, the music's so loud in the background scene." I remembered, like, saying that, and even, like, when I was watching it yesterday, there was moments where I was like, "Wow, that music is just" It's just
I
like,
don't know,
and
I
not
feel
that
like
it's bad, I just felt like it was very, like, I don't know. Ah.
I just remember a lot of moments. I don't remember them specifically, but in 1917, I felt like there were a lot of moments where just the music felt so disjointed with like what was actually happening for me. Like I was like, I don't need to have music right now. If I just heard him like panting and like breathing in like what he's actually doing, I would feel more affected by the situation than if I was listening to this score right now. That's how I felt for a lot of the parts.
I don't feel that. I don't know. I think it's just personal thing then because I literally don't get that.
it's
'Cause
hard to like rewatch because like you're gonna try to focus on the music, and that's not the point. So it's
no, but I
kind of
do
hard to
focus
have
on
like
the
this
music when
discussion.
I watch things. I really love scores, like, that's, like, one of my favorite things with film.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah, but like there's some scores like in like parts in the movie where the score has to be listened to, and other moments where it needs to support the movie and not try to
Mhm.
take over the spotlight. And I think
Yeah.
1917 score tries too hard during the action sequences to like have it be noticed, while Dunkirk score is more supportive and helps with the themes of the movie instead.
I agree with
I don't
that.
know. I don't know. I just 'cause I don't feel that, but
It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the end of that discussion. Oh
Yeah.
well, I guess I can add.
Speaking of sound, the sound mixing.
Get
Wait,
out of
Sound
here.
mixing?
but
What about the
yeah.
sound mixing?
Okay, no, there was a
I mean,
specific
both
part.
Wait, can I say
ends
one
are
last thing
loud.
about the music
Yeah, yeah,
though?
yeah.
Oh, okay. And he's back.
Yeah, sorry. Can I say one last thing about the music?
Of course, go ahead.
In Dunkirk, I believe like the ticking clocks were slower depending on what timeline you're in. So if you were in the air one, it would be faster because the time is faster.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh,
I feel like that's a neat detail.
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, that's all I needed to say. Go ahead about sound mixing.
Okay, I'm gonna say my intro again. Speaking of sound,
Oh my god.
so it did win the Academy Award for sound mixing and things. And there was just a specific moment that I just thought I would bring up because I thought it was so cool. You know when they are eating
I
bread
think
and
Dunkirk
jam?
also won sound mixing.
No, that's
Yeah.
what
Oh wait,
I
are you
meant.
talking about Dunkirk right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
No, because 1917 also
1917.
won sound mixing, right? Or did
Oh, okay.
No, I thought that was
they split the with
Oh yeah, wait, I can't remember if it was sound editing or sound
Sorry, go
mixing.
ahead. Sorry, we're interrupting far.
Okay. The moment, because I knew that going into the film too, but the moment that I realized like why they won it, at least in my opinion, is you know that scene when they're eating bread and jam in that one ship,
Yes.
but then the water fills up in the ship, and then they're basically like all like screaming underwater and things. So the
Mhm.
moment that I realized like how much layers were in this audio was when what's his name, Gibson, he like opens the door and everyone's kind of escaping, but as they're escaping you can hear them still, so you can like hear like the water rushing out and things too from the door. Do you know what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah.
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 When
Sorry.
when Harry Styles and the main protagonist guy is like already outside of that like hatch or whatever, you can still hear everyone screaming inside underwater, which I just thought was like the moment when I realized like, wow, this is insane
The
with
sound
sound at
people,
least.
like these are both really technically amazing
Oh
movies.
yeah, no, they're
Yes.
both like
Technically
really.
amazing sounds weird. Technical achievements
Yeah. Yeah.
in their own cool way.
Very true.
I guess we can just wrap this episode up talking about other war movies.
Yes. Oh my god, my
We need to
favorite
talk about
topic.
Apocalypse Now, Emma. We need to talk.
Yes. Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
wait. Can I just talk about like this funny story before I like chose like,
Please
to watch
do. I
one?
love funny
So yeah,
stories.
I wanted to watch a war movie
Uh-huh.
yesterday, and I really wanted to watch Come and See. You guys know that movie, Come and See?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think so.
It's like the 5th highest movie on Letterboxd, like right
Yeah,
now.
Wow.
no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like nowhere online for me to like
Really?
correctly buy because I
Huh.
really want to like see it that way. So I was like
Yeah.
looking at other movies, and then so I'm like, I'll just watch Apocalypse Now because I know Emma really loves that movie.
I love Apocalypse Now. Oh my god.
Yeah, but then I met with like 5 different versions of it, and I'm like, which one do I want? Because there's the
Oh god.
Redux and there's the
Wait, what'd you say?
theatrical. Wait, what? What's that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, no, I was making sure you were talking about what I thought you were talking about, and you were.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
like
cool.
5 billion different versions of the movie, and I just
Exactly.
yeah. So I was like, so I just decided to settle on the original theatrical one.
Yeah, I've seen, I think, 2 versions, but they were super similar, so I don't know. It just, but
I think the Redux adds like 50 minutes of footage. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, actually, I did know that. Maybe I have seen that one then. I don't know. I've seen a couple at least, like, I don't know. But yeah, so how'd you feel about Apocalypse Now?
It's pretty good.
It is.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it is more of a journey into a guy's psyche than a war movie by the end.
I love it. I love the psyche. Oh. Did you see my review on Letterboxd for it?
Yeah,
And
it's a good review.
I know it's one of my favorite reviews I've ever
Yeah,
written,
way to
but I so the thing is I watched it in high school when everyone was reading the book that it's like based
Oh, Heart of
on.
Darkness.
Yeah, everyone
Heart of
was reading
Darkness
it.
is a problematic book too,
I
though.
didn't read it. I don't know. I was just hearing what they were talking about and I was like, "Oh, I can contribute. I've seen Apocalypse Now." But not really. Like
It's a neat adaptation. It's like if you're gonna do an adaptation of a book, that's a cool way to do it,
I
right?
know. I think it's so cool. It really is. It's not. I feel like that's the least war film, although it does feel like the war. Never mind. I take
Yeah,
that
the
back.
first half is very much a war film, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I know, and that's what I remember. I was just thinking about the ending, and then I was like, "Wait a second. No, you're ignoring the complete beginning of the whole movie." Uh,
That scene at the what is it, Flight of the Valkyrie or whatever? Or
yeah.
God, that scene. Oh
I
my, how do
know.
you even film
I
like
know. I know. Oh my god, there's so many scenes in that film that I was just, like, watching, and I felt like I was just, oh my god. And it was just so
yeah,
good.
apparently like the lead actor had a heart attack and the
Yeah,
director had a seizure. Like that it
yep.
took him like what, 2 years to shoot that movie and 2 more
Yeah,
years to
no, literally.
like a hell.
Exactly, but that's so, like, oh, it's great. I love it. I really do. It's one of my favorite war actually, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, should we all say our favorite war films then? Or I guess
That's
ones
so
we
hard. Actually, it's not hard. Schindler's List.
Oh
no,
wow.
see, is that but I don't know if that would be considered.
It is a war film, but no, okay,
It's
the thing is
like a movie that takes place during wartime and a movie that like is Jojo Rabbit a war film?
Oh shoot.
yes.
Also,
In my
I don't
opinion,
know if I've seen enough to say that I have a favorite yet.
oh,
Or
okay.
but ones you like, or what are other ones you've seen?
Saving Private Ryan,
That's
Schindler's
Yeah.
List.
that's my favorite.
Saving Private Ryan's in my top 5 for sure.
Because I
I
feel
think,
like
well,
that's
yeah,
a war movie through and through. It's not trying to
yeah,
be
yeah.
psyche of the human spirit like Apocalypse.
Yeah, I know. It's not like trying to be something, it's not. It's just straight up a war film, and I kinda respect that.
Well, yeah,
I
go
feel
ahead.
like once I see Saving Private Ryan, it's gonna be my favorite. I don't know. It seems like
I
it's going
wouldn't say it's my I think okay, I just love Schindler's List so much. And
I
I
haven't
would say
seen
it's
that
a
in years. I really need to rewatch Schindler's List. But
it's so good.
no, because
Oh,
like, would
that's my
like the
favorite
boy in the
crime.
striped pajamas be a war film?
Yes. I would also say, like, movies like Life is Beautiful, even though it's not depicting war, it's still a war film.
No, I think taking place during wartime doesn't make you. Oh, that doesn't simply make you a war film.
I don't
think so either.
but then what would it be categorized as?
Whatever like Jojo Rabbit would be like a drama comedy.
Yeah, but you wouldn't a war film isn't a specific, like, genre.
It is a specific genre. If you're like a
No, but
soldier or like
it's not like a comedy or a drama, because you would argue that Dunkirk is a drama,
okay, would you say
action.
that? No, well, no, because well, yeah, well, Dunkirk is a lot of genres.
Exactly.
No, but would you consider like Forrest Gump a war film if there's like that war sequence and it takes place in wartime?
Yes.
Really?
No, that's different, that's different because it's only
It's
a
in the
little
top like
No, but
whatever.
it's a little segment, it's not even, like, the full movie. Like, okay, you could argue that Schindler's List, the whole time the war is going, obviously. And, like, all of the other films that I've mentioned, I mean, the war is there the whole time, and it's present. I wouldn't specifically Oh.
Oh.
He's back.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the end of your rant.
No worries, it's all good. I said I wouldn't say specifically if I was talking about Jojo Rabbit, I wouldn't say right off the bat that it's a war film, but I think I would also classify it as a war film. At first, I would say, "Oh, it's a comedy," but then I would say it's a war comedy.
Okay, like Tropics. Would you consider? Oh, have any of you guys seen Tropic Thunder?
No, I'm
Oh.
Oh,
sorry.
that's such a good like parody movie to like watch after
Mm.
watching like Apocalypse Now or something.
Okay.
Nice.
But any other war films you guys like?
I mean, I've seen a lot. I've seen some that
Yeah,
I
what
don't
are your
like.
top? Because you've been talking about all these different movies.
I would have to rewatch a lot of them. I would say my top 3 probably as of now is, hmm, Schindler's List,
Okay.
Saving
Really?
Private Ryan, and maybe 1917, I'm not gonna lie. I really
Wow.
like
Wait,
19
so Apocalypse Now isn't in your top 3 war
No,
films?
it's in my top 5 though. I really like Apocalypse Now.
Number 4 or number 5?
It's number 4.
Number 5.
Oh, no, don't do this to me.
Is Jojo Rabbit in your top 5 war films? Is that a...
Jojo Rabbit is in my heart.
Ah,
Where's that on the list?
Uh
yeah, her heart is like number 8 or something.
No, 'cause I love Jojo Rabbit, I gave it 5 out of 5. I gave it a higher rating than Apocalypse Now.
Hmm.
I don't I don't
It's fine. You can pick like I mean, I guess Parvati, do you have like some more movies you like?
I feel like I just haven't seen enough to say that I have like favorites though.
Mm,
Okay.
gotcha.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough to choose favorites for anything, even
Yeah,
if I've seen a lot.
mhm.
I guess one that I would like to mention that we haven't said yet is Full Metal Jacket, Stanley Kubrick's work.
Ooh,
Mm.
yes!
That's so that's so
Sorry,
good.
that's in my top 5. I'm just gonna keep saying things are in my top 5.
I have like 30 movies in my top 5 favorite.
Oh my
Is it my
god.
top 5 favorite, okay? Is it my top 5?
Full Metal Jacket is so good.
It's so good. It's just such a good movie. Like, you're watching it and you're like, "Wow, yeah, no, this is just good."
I think both halves are amazing in their
Oh,
own
100%.
yes.
I like
And
both.
yeah, I mentioned this to Parvati before, but we were talking about like our favorite like needle drops, like when our favorite like music, like song dropping moments in film. And Full Metal Jacket has one of my favorites. Do you know which part I'm talking about?
Um.
It's the tracking shot with the camera, where you see a camera crew.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil what song they play because it's.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. So good. Oh, yep. That's in my top 5. No,
Have you guys seen The Pianist? The Pianist?
I have
Oh,
not seen The
I
Pianist.
haven't.
No.
That's a good. Well, see, I don't know if I would consider that a war film, but since we
It's
talked
a
about
war
it,
film. It's a war film.
okay, but it's a great movie, and I need to rewatch it
It's
because
in my watch list on
okay.
Netflix right now. So it's long, and I've been on a real kick for shorter films right now. So
That's a World War II film too, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about a Jewish pianist during the
Yes.
Holocaust. But
Mhm.
it's so because like the first time I watched it, I
Oh
watched
my
it.
god, I hate myself. Inglourious Basterds my favorite. Sorry. Sorry, I'm so
Is
sorry I
that even a
interrupted
war
you.
film? Okay,
That
that's
is a war film. And then I would argue, hey, it's a comedy, but it's also a war film.
it's crazy how long it took for us to mention a Tarantino movie.
Oh my god.
But also, sorry, I'm so sorry. That's probably my favorite war film. And I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's so funny.
It's just I looked up and I saw the DVD and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's
There it
funny
is.
because me and my sister have recently been watching just a bunch of like World War II movies, and it's great because it's my favorite like period of time to like watch / read about.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, please watch Saving Private Ryan then.
Do
Yeah.
it, please do. So
Oh
good.
yes.
Oh, and also you could watch The Darkest Hour and then watch Dunkirk immediately
Oh
after The Darkest Hour.
yeah.
The
That's like the
Darkest
perfect.
Hour was fun. It was such
Is
a
that a war
fun.
movie, Emma? Is that a war movie?
The Darkest Hour? Hell yeah, it was. It
Oh
was
my
also
god.
and you know what else it was? It was my
My top 15-5.
no, it was Winston Churchill fan fiction, and I love that. That is
Have you
what I
seen The
want.
Crown?
I haven't.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's some good Winston Churchill content.
I
That
think
first.
Winston Churchill's one of my favorite people in the world. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just
You're like, wait a minute. What problematic things has?
yeah, I know. I was no, that's not true. But I like when people. He's just like funny, and he's always
Yeah.
depicted really silly,
That's
and I
true.
like that, and I think
And
it's fun.
he's in Inglourious Basterds, right? Like that one part where they're
Yeah.
introducing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My sister was
Mike
like,
Myers.
"Why?" My sister was just like, "Are they just gonna like ignore that Winston Churchill is in the
This
room
is
the whole
Winston
time?"
Churchill. Let him be. You know
That's
what?
part of the
If
comedy
Wins-
of it. Like Winston
Yeah.
Churchill's right there.
you know, I might think that he's depicted funny because the name Winston, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty silly name.
The gorilla in Overwatch.
Oh, well, there you go. There you have it, folks.
He's a
No.
gorilla with glasses. He wears glasses.
See,
He's a
he's
gorilla.
silly. He's silly. You know.
Oh, but anyways, I should just finish my talk about the pianist real quick.
Yeah, please do. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just like the first time I watched it, it was like this bootleg version, and
Oh.
it didn't have subtitles, and like half of the end of that movie is in a, like German and French or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, but this is how good the movie is. I could still like understand. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
That's how
I can-
awesome at the end.
That's so cool. I love that. That's so cool. I want to watch it. It's on my watch list, like I said. So I will get around to it.
Speaking of movies to recommend.
Oh, yes. Let's do this, y'all. Okay. So, the movie of next week is one of my personal favorites, Before Sunrise, a Richard Linklater film, and it's a part of the Before Trilogy. If y'all want to watch the other 2 movies, go on ahead. They're really, 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 really good too. But for now, I'll just say Before Sunrise. That's our movie.
Awesome.
I'm
Really
gonna cry. Oh my god, I'm gonna. Oh, this week is gonna be Emma sitting in her room just sobbing while watching a movie, and I'm ready for that.
Aw.
What else is new?
All right, so I guess that's the end of our second episode, which officially makes this a series.
Yay!
Yes.
Woo!
Does anyone have any last-minute war movies and or emotional speeches to end a war movie type of thing to say?
Oh,
Searches up the last bit of the movie.
Platoon is really it's a solid movie, and also it's funny seeing young
Charlie Sheen.
young
Ooh.
Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
He's
that's right.
really young in it, and I just would like to. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's funny, even though it's not. I don't know. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I guess there's also Before or We Were Soldiers, I think. It's like a Mel Gibson war movie. That one's pretty brutal.
Oh, I like
That's an
brutal.
action war movie type of deal. So if you guys want to watch something like that, that's
Okay.
the movie I'm throwing out there.
Solid.
Yeah.
For
So I guess
sure.
Man, we're going straight from war films to romance. Let's go.
oh yeah, we're genre hopping now.
I know we are. I
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. How do you say goodbye in Italian?
we say
Ciao?
goodbye to no. We say goodbye to Craig.
No, yeah, I was gonna say goodbye in
Okay.
Italian to Craig.
Okay,
Brad
great.
Pitt in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh.
Maybe we didn't mention a Tarantino film because we were trying to save all of that for a giant Tarantino episode.
Oh yeah, of course.
Inglourious Bastards is my favorite war
That one's gonna be
film.
like
Oh
3
my
hours
God.
long.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it is. We're gonna have multiple. We're gonna have Ronan. We have to.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell
Shout
yeah.
out to Ronan.
Shout out to Ronan.
Okay,
Okay.
we're talking too much about logistics when we need to end this thing. All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
let's
say
do
bye.
it.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
It sucks that Craig's never gonna say anything.
Don't remind me.